G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Out of Line, and an episode completely different to anything we've ever done. This episode we've been filming for the last 8 months. It's been frustrating, it's been stressful, it's been fun. I've learnt more than I ever knew that I would about vehicles, and most of all it's been extremely rewarding to see the end result. The companies we've worked with through this build have been amazing and been there to answer any questions I've thrown at them the whole time. Throughout Australia over the last couple of years there's been a massive increase in travel within our country, which is great. In turn prompting a lot of people to do different vehicle builds, such as on their Ranger, on Hiluxes, 200 series, 79 series, Rams, F-Trucks, and now Chevy Silverado 1500. People are doing up cars in all sorts of different ways, and the stuff that I've seen over the last 8 months blows my mind. And with our build, we wanted to do something completely different, something that hasn't been done before. And to my knowledge, this is a world first Chevy Silverado 1500 build video that's going on YouTube. So guys, please stick with us over the next 30 minutes while I run you through every step of the process, explain how everything's done, so you know exactly how to build your next tourer. Now let's rewind 8 months to where the action begins. Righto guys, I am super excited to say that the build video for the Chevy Silverado 1500 has officially started. Alright, this is the first bit of a couple of month long video, but it won't be a couple of months long for you guys. I spoke to Kale from EC Off-Road, and he's the man to talk to when it comes about four-wheel drives and exhaust and stuff like that. Kale said go and see Brian at Exhaust Innovations at Capella. Tell him what you want, the guy's a magician, he'll get it happening for you. Alright, no worries. Rang up Brian, he was more than accommodating with what I wanted, which was sort of two different sounds in a exhaust. When I put my foot down, I want it to sound really good, a nice strong note to it. But then again, at 4 o'clock in the morning when I get up for work, I don't want it screaming and waking everybody up. So my most important thing is when I'm towing the boat long distances up the highway, I don't want it droning, which basically means it's like a really loud hum and it gets very annoying. So I don't want that. When you're choosing an exhaust, you got to be careful, because it might be alright when you're on the highway driving at 100, but when you put weight on the back and you're towing, it's a whole different sound because you're using a lot more pressure to tow that weight. So I've spoke to Brian, he's explained a little bit about it to me, and I'm heading up there now to say g'day and see where they're up to with it. He said come up and have a look, so that's what I'll do. We'll also stop in and see the boys at Sea Addicts Boats. Now they're the ones that did my trailer, right? So they've done this wicked fifth wheel on the front of it, so if we ever get bogged or anything like that, I can drop it on this fifth wheel and I can tow it out. It's also on its own hub, so I can just unbolt it, bolt it straight onto any of the other tyres on my trailer and keep going if I ever have dramas with the blown tyre or bearings or something like that. So anyway, go see Brian, see where they're up to. I cannot wait to get in my Silverado and start it and hear what it sounds like, and I'm just stoked that we're finally starting this video. Exhaust Innovations is located in Capella, southeast Queensland. Brian and the boys came highly recommended for the work they do. In Sylvie, Brian is installing a true dual catback 3-inch stainless system from the catalytic converter all the way back. Where many other dual systems start after the wide junction, run single to the muffler, and after the muffler they'll go back dual to the tailpipes. The branch off to the manifold is also often squashed down, where my system remains open the entire length and into two separate mufflers, resulting in a clean, clear, yet aggressive and deep note that you won't get from many other exhausts. The work the boys carried out here was second to none, and we couldn't be happier with how she sounds. There about exactly what it is. So those big resonators are what will make it quiet, and like Brian was saying, if it's too loud, he can fine tune it, make it a little bit quieter, a little bit louder, so that's pretty cool to know. Anyway, I'm going to pop around to Sea Addicts Boats and have a look at this fifth wheel idea that I've told you about on the trailer. You want to know a little secret? This is the first exhaust system I've ever got done on a car in my entire life. So, pretty excited. Anyway, here we are at Sea Addicts. So sick, eh? Oh god. It's been a couple of weeks since I last left yous, and Sylvie was going in to get the exhaust from Exhaust Innovations. Alright, so I have done some serious towing. We've towed the boat 7 hours up north. I've been driving to work and back. I've been doing all sorts of driving, and I'm in love with the exhaust, the way it sounds. At the start, I wasn't sure if it was loud enough or not. It definitely is, after having a couple of mates and Sarah drive past me and stuff like that. The real test was when we towed the boat up north 7 hours. So on the highway at the moment, it's like dead quiet. You cannot hear it at all, sitting on 100. But when I got the boat and the caravan behind it, I towed both. I wouldn't want it any louder. I wouldn't want it to drone any louder. It's not annoying at all. It's actually perfect how it is. Sitting on 80 or 90 in slower zones and stuff like that, you can hear it just start to drone. Like I said, not annoying, but like just droning. If I was to up at another one, that 80 or 90 speed would be a little bit drony, I think. Sitting on 100 was good, was perfect. When I put my foot down a little bit, don't know if you can hear that, but it has that nice note to it, that really clean, flowing note. It has that nice growl to it, nothing restricting it. It's really, really nice. So hopefully you can hear it there. It really does sound nice. All right, so today I'm heading down to Off-Road Creative to see Brad. Brad's gonna scan my front bar, okay? So Brad, they do canopies, front bars, all sorts of custom stuff for your four-wheel drive. Their front bars are next level, all right? So winch compatible, light cubes, light bars, snatch points, all sorts of stuff for these big American trucks. Any trucks for that matter. So I'm heading down there. Brad's gonna pull the bumper off the whole front of the car apart, 3D scan my bumper. I'll show you how that works. It's unbelievable. Whack it all back together, then he can start designing it. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I was a little bit nervous to know the whole front end of my car was being pulled off, then put back together. Anyone who has disassembled a car will know how scary it is when you hear that snap of the clips coming out, but Brad had it all under control. And in no time, we had the entire front end pulled off and ready for scanning. Now, this grey spray helps the 3D scanner do its job. It's amazing just what technology can do, with this little beauty being within 0.02 of a millimetre accuracy. Here you can see live, it's scanning with precision and speed, and in no time we had it all put back together and I was on my merry way. Now that the front bar was all scanned, it was time to take Sylvie down to EC Off-Road to get the suspension installed. EC Off-Road is a company you may have heard the name floating around. The boys here are taking the 4x4 world by storm. With a branch right here in southeast Queensland and also another in Melbourne, they are a must for any of your 4x4 needs. Specialising in 200 series cruisers, patrols, 79s, Rams, F-trucks and Chevs. EC Off-Road do everything from dash upgrades to suspension to full canopy and caravan lithium fit-outs. And now installing some top shelf remote res suspension in Sylvie. So it's out with the old and in with the new. Right, we have Mr. Lanegas.
Yeah.
Mate, What's actually happening here? Because I have no idea.
We're pulling it all apart. We've got to put this up control arm in there. This is all coming out because we're dropping this by 4 inches. So
diff drop?
Yep, that's going to stay. All this is going, and then we've got all the new hardware here.
It's a lot of pieces, mate.
Hey, what about those ones?
So this here, I believe, is what's going to drop the diff. So instead of lifting everything, you drop it.
Sexy coilovers. Finish her off.
Look at that. So it's Fox 2.5 remote res.
Yep.
All I know is it's going to be 4.5 inches bigger than what it was standard, so pretty happy with that. Here he is. What are you doing, mate? Not bloody much.
Kicking him up the bum.
We're down here at EC Off-Road in Queensland, here with the owner, Cale Wells. So Cale, he's whacked some suspension in this thing. You want to do a quick run through what's in there, mate?
Yeah, mate, we've got a BDS all the way from the States. So it's a 4-inch Fox kit, 2.5 shocks with the dual speed compressions and the sort of full diff drop, UCAs, the whole kit.
What's the benefits of having that sort of suspension in a truck like this? Towing and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, just, well, obviously a nice ride. You've got the diff drops, everything's, all your angles, everything's done properly. People just lift stuff, but don't worry about all your angles, and then you get tyre wear and all that sort of stuff. So it's lifted properly, and then the shocks with 2.5 remote resis, obviously rebuildable. You can valve them up to suit your weight. Yeah, just a bloody good ride. They're up there with the best, these shocks. So
if you want to go a cheaper option, you don't necessarily need the remote res, do you?
No, remote res is predominantly about cooling and adjustability and stuff, but
we'll be doing a lot of corrugations and stuff like that, so that's sort of where...
It's certainly going to help. Like I said, you can valve these to suit. If it's too hard, too soft, we can get them revalved pretty easy and suit the weights of the vehicle and the bull bar and stuff goes on. So yeah, remote res comes into play when you have a lot of weight.
Yeah. So all this suspension isn't real easy and accessible to get at the moment. Quick story about this fella. I contacted him and I said, I don't want a 6-inch lift, I don't want a 2-inch lift, I'm short, so I don't want to be, there's a big canopy going on the back of this, I don't want to be trying to reach up here and cook me steaks up here on me barbie, so I said I want a 4-inch lift. He goes, it's a bit different because this is a trail boss as opposed to an LTZ to lift.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because they're already lifted 2 inches, so he made some phone calls all the way to America, found a 4.5-inch lift from standard, so 2.5 inches over the stock 2 inches that Trail Boss already has. Found him in the States, got him over here in a week and a half, installed him in 2 days.
Yeah, a couple of days, yeah.
So within 2 weeks from the first chat, he got the Fox suspension over here from the States and in my car. So thanks, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
That's customer service right there.
Not too high for you, you're pretty short. So.
I am pretty short. But anyway, it's not just these you work on. What else, as you can see?
Yeah.
A couple of 200s in the background.
Yeah, pretty much everything, mate. But we focus on the a lot of the American and the patrols and the cruisers. That's pretty much it. We will do anything, but that's our bread and butter.
You got an F350 over there, mate. You've got a Ram there. You got another Ram inside. Caravans.
Yeah. Do the odd lithium upgrades to caravans. So a lot of suspension, a lot of power upgrades, full builds, roof racks, lighting.
Yeah,
and then obviously on our website we've got all our core products with the head units and jazz up that interior and bring it out of the Stone Age for a lot of these cruisers and patrols.
Yeah, watch the footy or a bit of out of line adventures when you're parked up at the beach.
That's it.
Anyway, mate, you guys have done a bloody awesome job. She just needs some new shoes, hey?
Yeah, tyres are on the way. Get maybe a stage 2.
Yeah, we've got some 35-inch black bears going on this shortly, so they'll be probably 2 weeks, but straight after we finish filming this, it goes down to Off-Road Creative, which is just around the corner.
Yep.
And Brad's going to start putting the canopy on, so it's all systems go. But anyway, mate, thank you.
All right, buddy.
Alrighty. By this stage, I was starting to get really excited. After seeing how good she looked with just the suspension installed, any fear of it not looking as good as what I thought it was going to look was starting to disappear. Off-Road Creative, also located at southeast Queensland, specialise in front bars and canopies for a variety of vehicles. And I was stoked to get a look at their brand new factory and great workplace they are creating right here on the Gold Coast. With each welder having his own bay, and each bay a different part of the build process, along with the polished concrete floors, give this factory a great feel. And I was greeted with a smile on every visit. Now, down to the nitty gritty. My first look at our canopy since it's been painted, and a sneak peek of the rooftop tent lid before it goes down for paint. And I tell you what, I was like a kid in a candy shop. Here you can see some front bars in progress, which are all winch compatible with light bars, light cubes, and a great addition for any four-wheel drive. Have a go at this masterpiece. I was lucky enough to get a good look at this one while I was still there. Say what you like about the 79s, they're still Australia's toughest truck in my opinion. The tub was off, hoses and wires starting to be run. Sylvie's canopy was in full swing. So I want to talk quickly about rims and tyres, because in many people's opinions, the rims and the tyres can make or break the vehicle. In our case, we lifted Sylvie 4.5 inches. Any lifts from 4.5 inches above are most likely going to cause everything behind and around that hub to be a lot bigger and bulkier. Suspensions 3 inches and below, everything sort of remains the same size. So in our case, behind that hub, our tie rod ends, everything were bigger, bulkier, therefore not allowing the rim to fit around it and slide all the way back. Now in all cases, I did not want to have to run 20-inch rims. I wanted 17s or max 18-inch rims. I like the look of more tyre, less rim. And didn't I bloody kick up a song and dance when I found out it was going to be hard, if not impossible, to fit 17s or 18s on there. This is where a friend, Tyler from Race Wheels Australia, mate, I have to say a big thank you to you, because without you, I probably would have lost my mind trying to figure that whole thing out. Tyler came down 3 separate occasions, making minor modifications to the components around the hub to try and fit 17s or 18-inch rims onto the vehicle. And after testing out and trying everything we could, we had to bite the bullet and run 20s. And this is where it's a little bit embarrassing for me, because I actually think the 20s look bloody good. So we wasted days of trying and testing all different size rims, with them hitting the knuckles or hitting the brake calipers and not spinning. And yes, Kale did tell me at the very start you have to run 20s. I thought I knew better. I thought, no, I think I'll fit 17s or 18s on there. No, we didn't. We tried everything in the end. Negative offsets, positive offsets, 0 offsets. The only thing that worked in the end was a 20-inch rim. So guys, if you're going a 4-inch or above lift, let me save you the hassle. You've got to run a 20-inch rim. Just to add to it, I did run a negative 12 offset rim, which did fit and fit around everything, and it did clear the brake calipers, but I had about 75 mil of my tyre poking outside of the rim. So I could have ran a 50 mil flare and it was still illegal. So one thing you could maybe experiment with a little bit more is running big flares, and seeing if you can get away with that. I didn't want to have to run a flare because I just wanted it nice and flush, but in the end, a 20-inch rim, I didn't have to run a flare at all. Anything else, I had to run a massive flare and the tyre would still poke outside that flare, or it would hit the tie rod end knuckle, or it would hit the brake calipers. So guys, 4.5 inch above, run a 20-inch rim, or a massive flare, and I still think that you'll have tyre poke outside that flare. 3-inch and below, you should be sweet as. Now, before we go to pick up Sylvie from Off-Road Creative, completely finished, There was a couple more mods that needed to be done, so a bit of back and forthing between Off-Road Creative and EC Off-Road to get this done. This man Dom is an absolute magician, making up a great little bracket here for my aerial to sit perfectly where my bonnet finishes. And also to wire up a steady 50-inch light bar. I also got a sneak peek at the new EC 2500 Silverado. Now, what else do you put on the floor of your canopy but deck armour? Deck armour is an 8mm soft flooring which is extremely hard wearing and easy to clean. The boys down at Deck Armour can cut any logo, any riding, boat name, canopy name, anything you want into this flooring, and is very easy to install yourself. Now throw in an Eco Gear soundbar and we've really got the party going. If you're ever up the beach and you see what looks like a bush doof with Luke Combs cranking out of the canopy, it's most probably us. Now this is where it really starts to get good. A couple of weeks later, I got a call from Brad, Off-Road Creative, saying, mate, come down tomorrow, pick her up. She's all done. Well, I hardly got a wink of sleep that night. Me and Sarah were both so excited to see how it had all turned out. Now, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. Guys, I'd like to introduce you to Sylvie, the first Chevy Silverado 1500 touring build video ever to go on YouTube. I'm pretty proud of that. I hope you guys love her as much as we do. Down here at the Off-Road Creative Factory this morning. Brad's been nice enough to give me a spare moment of his time, which he doesn't have much of. Nope. So this is the first Chevy Silverado 1500 that you guys have put a canopy on, yeah?
Yeah, the very first Chevy Silverado.
Beat everyone to it. We bought Sylvie 8 months ago and we've been hanging for this day, all right? So I have seen it, not totally finished, but I have seen it. I've been involved in fitting tyres and trying to get the right offsets for tyres and this and that, so coming down and seeing the process through it all. Brad's been nice enough to let me come and do that, which usually you don't really get to see all that bit.
No, usually it comes out ready to go.
Yeah, so thank you. But today Brad's going to run through everything that they do with their canopies. In my opinion, mate, you make the nicest canopy on the market.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm not just saying that. I haven't seen any other work like what the guys do here. Brad's going to run through that with you now, but just the intricate stuff like scanning it right and having all your transition lines line up perfectly. I mean, even down to the sills of the car and the sills of the canopy line up perfectly. I look in my rearview mirror and I can't even see the canopy there. A lot of the other canopies I see, you know, they'll come poke a fair bit higher and then turn in and stuff like that. So I love what you've done there, mate.
Following the body lines of the vehicle is important for us.
Body lines, yeah, it's all about that. And the arse end on this thing is...
Good looking booty.
Anyway, I'm going to hand it over to Brad. He's going to run through everything in this thing. Stay tuned for the next few minutes because you're not going to want to miss this.
All right, our very first Chev 1500, and I think it's come up really, really well. The first step of the process with all of our canopies is the vehicle. The vehicle is the hero in all of our builds, and we just try and make the canopy do the vehicle justice. We don't like how a lot of canopies just look like a box thrown on the back of the car. We try and make ours look as close as we can that it came from Chev with this canopy on. So with the scan, really focusing on following the body lines as best we can, trying to line up the angles and the edges, and then down to, you know, the bottom angle down here, as best we can with sheet metal that's folded. I think this one here has come up really well. The 1500 did throw a few problems at us with regards to how pointy they are at the top here. This is a different angle to a lot of our other canopies, but yeah, a few challenges aside, it's come up really well. All right, let's jump into the inside and have a look. What you'll notice here is we try and keep everything nice, flush, clean looking. We don't like to see a lot of, elements from the other side, a lot of gaps. Everything that we do is purpose built. Everything has a spot, and we really focus on what the customer is going to use the canopy for when we are designing the layout. We've done quite a few builds now, and I don't think we've done 2 interior layouts the same. We usually start off with our 130 fridge up on the front here. So the Bushman 130, they've been really good fridges, really efficient, and the weight is very good on those. We've got a big table with a double induction hob cut into the top of the bench. So above the pull-out table, we have a big drawer. The drawer is awesome. It's got a lot of storage space in it. Center divider here. It fits in everything you'll need for this size vehicle. We have our first mini pantry. We've done some pretty big pantries in the past. This is our smallest one. At the front here, we've got one-handed operation. Everything we do is really easy, really functional. Travel buddy at the front, cutlery drawer, sandwich press fixed down, turn it on the inverter, throw your bread in, away you go. Storage space, cups, plates, paper towel, you name it, whatever you want to put in there. Food. And then more storage space up the top here for any other items, bulky items, containers, things like that. We have our underbody toolboxes. What we've done here at Off-Road Creative with our toolboxes is we've made a hybrid between a drawer and a normal toolbox. So what you can see in here is we have a drawer insert that still flips down and still latches at the top. That's great for just throwing all of your gear in. And when you open the door, it doesn't fall out, but also when it's closed up, it's still super secure because of your lock at the top and your hinge at the bottom. The toolboxes are functional, versatile, but still also seal really well. So it's our hybrid OC pockets. Running along the back, we have our jerry can. Doubles as a bin bag holder as well. So if you're not running a jerry can, you can throw a bin bag in there and all your rubbish is secure. We have our blind spot monitor relocation pockets here. Yeah, they function really well and a nice, neat solution for relocating that. Sequential tail lights, parking sensors, rear cameras, solar input, Anderson plug for the trailer. Our water point here with our deck wash filler. The first time we've rolled out our gas bottle holders as well. So
says he needs special. A hot shower, mate.
Yeah. So rear work lights as well. They're connected to inside the canopy, and we can also put them to a switch inside the cab too. So if you're reversing a trailer, you can flick it on from inside the cab and see where you're going at night. At the rear, we also have a rear trundle drawer. So with this one here, just pop it open. Plenty of room there for storage gear or toolkits, drills, that type of stuff.
Barbecue fits on there and opens, and the lid of the barbecue slots perfectly into there if you've got a Weber Mini. Just thought I'd add that part in, mate.
Very nice, very nice. Trundle drawer isn't full length because we put our water tanks up in between the chassis rail. There's an 80 litre water tank on this one with pump. We put that down in below the chassis rail, keeps all the weight down low, and we can get 80 litres in these ones, yeah. Running down the driver's side. On this one here, we have our electrical panel, fuse access right here. And then if you do need to get in and do more electrical work, this cover panel comes off, the fridge comes out, and you can access all of your plumbing and electrics along the front. Big storage drawers, nice and low. So you can fit plenty of gear in there. And then you've got full shelf here. And we do a multitude of options. As far as this driver's side here, you can have a single drawer divider, single drawer, Evercool fridge, whatever you want, we can throw in these. The hardcore tricolour lighting, again, heated door skins, solid doors, water fill point, our pocket here again in this one, and then in the rear of this toolbox we've got the ARB double pumper with our air point. So it's simply a matter of just flicking the switch on in the canopy and then grabbing your hose and pumping your tyres up. So when we close it all up, everything's nice, safe, secure, and everything is all done central locking with the key fob. This is a bit of a hybrid between our EC off-road electrical system and Revolution. So it has a lot of our elements in there, our power points, circuit breaker, USB points and SIG points. And again, they're located throughout our canopies for easy access. And then Adam's done quite a bit with Revolution, which you'll see coming up. And they've really brought this electrical system and this canopy to the next level. We've also thrown on the Julka swing down option for Adam as well. So Adam and Sarah can have a shower while they're out camping. So this one here unclips, swings down. We have pole storage there. And then we have our shower tent, which is on a draw slide. That swings out, gets it past the end of the canopy. He's got his gas bottle here that he can hook up to his Julka, his water point there that he can hook up. Shower tent right here. Throw your towel and toiletries on the shelf there, and you can still use the shower with the canopy door open. So you may have noticed on the back here, we have our integrated rooftop tent. So we started doing these. They are integrated. This one's 2.4 meters long, 1450 wide internally, and it's actually fixed down onto the canopy because it's electrically actuated. We have actuators running through the canopy here onto the roof. And it's a case of just having your power on, and away you go. Takes about a minute and a half for the tent to go up fully. They're fairly quiet, these actuators.
They're very quiet.
And there we have it. 10 is up. There's a little bit of setup inside. We have some bars that we have in the roof. You flip those down, set those in, and then that makes the whole roof stable for high wind. The material we're using is the same material you'll find on boat bimneys. It's very breathable, very waterproof, very UV stable, and I believe it's got a lifetime warranty on the material. So once she's up, there's some bungee cords inside which pull the canvas in as it goes down. And then you put your fly poles out for your window flaps, and then you can put your doors halfway down, all the way down, or all the way up, or halfway up for privacy. It creates a really nice space inside, and yeah, it's quite generous up there. So the way we've got this set up, sitting at the moment, is for when we close it back down again. So with the door flaps poked in, it makes sure that as it goes down, you're not there tucking everything in as it's closing. Everything gets pulled in, and it also lets the air out as it's going down. So going down, once you've put your roof bars back up and put your bungee cords back together again to pull the material in, just hold that button, down it goes. There's no additional clips, there's no poking and sticking in the material. Just go around and make sure that there's nothing there fouling that seal, and you'll have no problems with water or dust getting in.
Show me exactly how long it takes to pack that down, mate. I love this. Especially when you, Cape York trip, something like that, got to do this every single day.
Yeah, they're quite good as far as rooftop tents. You're not taking a bag off, you're not flipping it over, all of that sort of stuff. We've got the rear ladder, and we also have another ladder that you can set up on your front rack to access through the front or through the side door as well. So all the openings are all the same size, which makes it easy and plenty of options to access the tent. Hold the button down and away she goes. There she is.
That's it.
Up on top of the rooftop tent, we have 180 watt solar panel, and then we also have the roof bar system on this one. So boards, max tracks, all that sort of stuff can go up on there. The actuators are quite strong. I don't suggest putting a boat on there.
Oh.
Other than that, everything else is fine.
So you mean I can't chuck the 5.8 metre on there?
No, you might be able to throw a few fish up there in an esky. That's about it.
Mate, that's a game changer
Yeah, they're really cool.
for us.
Yeah, having that all sort of built in, yeah, it just means you're not taking additional gear and messing around with additional stuff. It's there when you need it. Push the button, up she goes. So we fitted the Bushwhacker Endo Darkness on this one here. They're a great awning. It's all got black poles, everything like that. The material is quite good. Inbuilt awning lighting. It swings out to the front. So it comes up to about here, comes out a couple of meters, and then 270 all the way around the back as well. So it's awesome coverage, it's freestanding. The weight on them is very good, and it also has the option for walls kits. So you can completely enclose the bottom here as well.
Well, there you go, guys. That's pretty much everything on the canopy. It's sleek, it's stylish, it's functional, extremely functional.
It's beautiful.
It is.
It's a beautiful thing.
There's not really any 1500s done that
No.
I could see. They do have canopies, but they look like boxes on the back, and I was so unsure what it would look like.
Yeah.
He must have sent me about 50,000 3D designs trying to show me what it's going to look like.
Trying to calm you down.
And then to come down and see it like this was like a massive weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
It looks unbelievable. I could not be happier. And I want to say a big thank you to Brad, you and your wife, because she's also
Yep.
got to put up with your late nights talking to people like me.
Oh, she's a huge part of what we do here.
Yeah, so I spent so many nights talking with Brad till 10, 11 o'clock at night, changing this. I'd ask him about a Rhino platform. He'd have the measurements, the part numbers, everything to me within 2 minutes. So I probably shouldn't say this because, but it's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier. Mate, that's not the only thing you guys do here. You do a lot more. You want to run through really quickly what you guys do and what cars you work on?
So we do canopies for a lot of the American vehicles, so Fords, Rams, 250s, 2500s, Silverado 25s. Again, this is our first 1500. We've got 2 out there now. And then also bull bars. So we're doing bull bars for Ram 15s, 25s, F-trucks, Silverados coming soon.
So
Not
this
soon
has
enough.
already been scanned, 3D scanned, the bull bar. You would have seen that earlier in the video. That's what, a couple of days away now?
Yeah, a couple of days away.
Yeah, he's been busy. But for a man who's been changing from a smaller factory to this place here,
Yeah.
and then dealing with people like me who want to know how big a Rhino platform's going to be on their roof, mate, your patience has been awesome.
No,
Can't
that's
thank you enough.
it's what we do. We offer that service.
Yeah. So now Sylvie's going to be, she's ready to go. That's
So
it.
she's ready.
That's it. She's ready to be used,
Exhaust is done.
dragged up the beach, dragged through the bush. I've got one more stop, and that's to Dave at Revolution Power, because he's going to run through everything lithium. What's the electrical system in this thing like, mate?
It is next level. Phone connectivity, lights on and off with your phone.
Yeah.
Bulk power, more than you'd probably need, I think.
Yeah, we'll never use it
Yeah.
all, but it's nice to have it there for sure.
But yeah, it's definitely 2022 power pack.
Yeah. But anyway, there is one more thing, and probably the best part of the whole canopy, I think. Can we show them?
Party lights.
Party lights. Mate, hit it.
Let's get it on.
Look at that. They even go to the beat of the music on every corner. Now guys, you think that'd be it, but it's not. We're now going to get on to the heart of the canopy, and that's the electrical system. Without that, you might as well not even have a canopy. Now, in our boat for the last 2 years, we've ran Revolution Power Solutions lithium batteries, and to say I'm happy with them is an understatement. So of course we're going to run their batteries in our canopy. Now I talked to Dave Nielsen down at Revolution Power, and they've really stepped it up a notch with what's in our canopy. It's absolutely mental, the electrical system in this thing. So I'm going to head over to him now, and he's going to run you through everything lithium. Guys, really listen in with this, because Dave's going to give you some really helpful hints and show you exactly what you can do with a 12 volt lithium system. G'day guys, I'm down here today on the Gold Coast at Revolution Power Solutions, and I'm joined here by Dave Nielsen.
Thanks, Adam. So this one particular build, we've put 2 of our 200 amp lithium batteries in it. So there's 400 amps usable in this truck, 3000 watt Victron Multiplus, and a buck boost DC-DC charger. So basically it's almost like a generator on wheels when you've got the engine running.
And your buck boost, that's your fast charging.
It's fast charging, so it's just like a big DC-DC charger. Not many vehicles can handle it, but this particular vehicle has a good alternator, so even at idle it can put in 75 amps, and we'll start the truck up and show you all that. So it's almost like having a generator if you're on the beach or way out west and your batteries are getting low and you still want to cook on your induction cooker. Just start the car up and it'll start charging, and then you can keep cooking.
So to put that into perspective, it's a 400 amp hour system. The car at idle puts 75 amps in, so 4.5-5 hours of idling charges this from empty to full. If you use 3% cooking a meal on your induction cooker, within 15 minutes of idle, it's back to full again. So which it's pretty good.
So that basically means this gas, this truck's got no gas on it. So.
No, except when I do a roast in the barbie, but gets a bit
Everyone
hard
loves the weather though.
I know, gets a bit hard in the wind, and that's where these things, the induction cookers, come into play. To run an induction cooker, you have to have sufficient power.
Correct.
So that's what we're going to show you here right now.
Yep, but we'll also show you the other benefits of having a system in your vehicle that can be used for other devices that you tow, like can power your caravan, can power the boat. So if Adam's up the dam and wants to charge up the lithiums in the boat, we'll show you how you can plug it into the canopy and charge it up that way.
Yeah, so any extended trips, we're going to Cape York soon, so if we use a fair bit of power in the boat, and I've got nowhere to charge it up there, obviously, unless we're in a camping site, I can charge it off my car, and then the car recharges through the alternator and solar power. So that's a game changer for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Although the amount of power you put in the boat, it's hard to use that as well. So we're pretty good for power. But anyway, let's start. We'll get into the nitty gritty of it, and stay tuned for the next few minutes, because everything lithium's about to be explained to you in good detail. So
we're just going to talk you through the Victron colour screen. So there's 2 sizes in the colour screen. There's a GX50 and a GX70. We've put the GX70 in Adam's because he's getting older and his eyes aren't as good as what they used to be. So if Adam zooms in on the screen a bit here, we can show you at the moment the inverter's on. We're using 17 watts of load. The batteries are down to 92%. The voltage and the amount of amps that are actually coming out of the battery. We're inside a building at the moment because it's raining, so you can see the PVs there, but there's no actual input from the solar. And then we can slide the screen, and this shows us our water tank. So there's a water tank in the tray, so you can have up to 4 water tanks set up on this system, and then we can expand it if you more, like in a caravan situation. So this screen here is what they call a RV screen. So this gives you the ability to control your AC input current, which is the amount of power coming through on your shore power lead, so you don't melt it into the socket. So we've dropped that down to 10 amps on this vehicle because that's the most common. Also here you'll see there's an AC mode, so from this mode we can turn the inverter on and off. So if you're not using the inverter, you can turn it off, so it's not sitting there using power all the time. And this, you'll also see up here, it shows you your water tank. So if we had more tanks, it would show more tanks up on here. This is probably the most common screen that people like to use, and I'll show you how the dots go on the screen as to discharge and recharge, so you can see exactly what you're using and where it's going.
It makes it very easy to understand what power's going where and what power's coming out of what.
So what I'm going to do is I'll open this up. It's got the induction cooktop. So what we did is got one of Adam's fancy bowls and just put 2 coffee mugs of water in there, and we'll crank it up. So that's on number 9, and it's on the small plate. So now you can see the induction cooktop's using 1284 watts. Well, that's the total of the system being used. we're using 113 amps from the system. So you'll see now that we've got the induction cooker going, that you'll see the dots are moving on the screen. So this is your batteries, and you see the dots. So that what's happening is the dots are going towards the inverter. So we know we're using AC current because we're going to the inverter from the dots. What we can do now is we can turn the induction cooker off, and I'll plug the shore power in, and you'll see the shore power come up here, and this will turn into a charger and start charging the batteries. So the boys at EC Off-Road did a really good fit out on this one, and they put the shore power inlet. So if you're at a caravan park or at home and you leave the vehicle, you can just plug it in and you can leave the vehicle all locked. So what's happening now is the inverter and charger is looking at the 240 supply coming in, making sure that it's happy with what it sees, and it just switched over. So now we're seeing 1978 watts coming from 240. So if you look now, you'll still see that we have the AC load, which is the induction cooker, but the charger's gone into bulk. So before that was saying inverting, so now it's turned into a charger, and the dots are going the other way. So we're now putting 60 amps into the batteries, and the induction cooker's still running. So you'll see Adam just took a shot in there. The water's nearly boiled. So it's quicker to boil water on an induction than it is a kettle. So that's as long as it took to heat up the water. I don't know how long that was. We didn't time it.
Not long.
Again. So the biggest thing is you see the dots, makes it so simple to see exactly what's going on in your system. Okay, so the other benefit is Adam's got a Jayco expander that he tows. It doesn't have a real good battery system in it. It's just got an AGM battery in it for running a few lights, designed to go to caravan parks. But now what he can do is use the power that's within this canopy. We plug into an outlet rather than an inlet, so he plugs his caravan into that socket, and that will then give him 240 power in the caravan. So then he can use the microwave or air conditioning or whatever you want in the caravan, keep his battery topped up in the caravan. So instead of having two systems, one in each, you could get away with having one system. So you can see that the water's boiling away in the induction cooker. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to turn this off again. I'm going to turn it off. So now the AC loads have gone away. I'm going to unplug the shore power feed. So that's now unplugged. What we're going to do is start the vehicle up, and we'll show you the DC-DC putting the power back into the batteries. So what happens now with the DC-DC is that so the vehicle's now running. It'll make sure the start battery is full and the voltage is right on that, and before it starts putting in current. So that takes a little bit of a process. So now you can see we're putting in 71.1 amps at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the inverter off so the dots will stop. Okay, so now the inverter's off. So say you're travelling on your way to your destination, you don't necessarily need the inverter running, so you can turn it off. And then we're putting 72.6 amps in at idle. If I turn the inverter back on, and you'll see it all happen on the screen, and there's the dot started again.
Yep.
Okay, so we're only using 38 watts of load, so it's not much load, but it will drop in and out. So guys, if you want to know any more about the system in Adam's truck, obviously you can reach out to Adam and ask him any questions. There are no dumb questions, so please just fire away. And if you actually want to come and talk to us in person, we have a shop at 1 Waterways Drive at Coomera. So you can come down and see John or Cheryl and see exactly the system working on a display in the shop, and we can talk you through all the features and benefits. We just don't sell you a battery, we sell you a total solution. Hopefully that's explained everything that you've wondered about this sort of stuff, because the electrical system is the heart of the canopy. Without that, there's probably no point having one. So exactly, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man. No, it's good, and for us it's important that customers understand, doing a full system is important, not just part of a system. That if you don't have all the pieces, it doesn't work properly. That's it. Alrighty, thanks heaps. Appreciate it. Now guys, that brings us to the end of our build video.
I hope in some way this has helped inspire you guys. If you're thinking about doing something like this, take the leap, do it. Life's too short. If you're already in the process of doing something like this, I hope it's helped out in some way, given you a couple of handy hints or ideas what you can do. Or if you're looking at doing something, I hope it's explained the way it's done so you learn more about it, as I have. I've thoroughly enjoyed this process. I've learned so much. Now, to all the companies involved in this build video, to you guys, I want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You have all done a great job. You have all been so patient for me to talk to and whinge at and answer any of my questions. You're all extremely knowledgeable and the top of your field in everything you do. So once again, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. We've built some amazing friendships now with this build video, and yeah, like I can't say thank you enough, honestly. Now, to all our followers and our subscribers on YouTube, we're about to take Out of Line Adventures to another level. Sylvie's going to cop an absolute hiding. In fact, she already has. We took her away last week and towed the boat up to none other place than Double Island Point. And oh my God, you're not going to want to miss that episode. In 8 weeks, we're going to Cape York, and we're doing Cape York like it hasn't been done before. Towing the boat, taking Sylvie, fishing some really remote areas. Guys, stick with us. I can't wait to bring you all the content that I've got planned, and I hope you all enjoy it. Cheers. If you enjoyed this episode and are keen to see more, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, and check us out on Facebook and Instagram.